Did you ever feel so bad inside?
Like woman, one, woman, one. Oh, one like woman,
So bad inside.
Hey guys, it's Macy from Blind Woman 101 back with another video. In about 4 months, I think the last video I uploaded was me doing fireworks. Words are hard, I have Monday brain. Me experiencing fireworks outside and showing my perspective. And before that, I did strategies I found to cope with fireworks, but lots have changed since then. Before I start, I hope everyone had a safe and happy Thanksgiving. I can't believe it's already December. This year has flown by. But I wanted to kind of come in and do an update video for you guys because I know it's been forever, and I decided while I have some free time I wasn't going to wait any longer, and I wanted to get this knocked out now while I was thinking about it. So I have a mental list of some things that I would like to cover. First, I wanted to give a PNES update, but there's been a lot of new people subscribe, so I'll give a quick update history type thing. So for those of you who may not know, who are some of my newer subscribers or followers, my name is Macy. I am 19 years old. I am blind. I have spastic quadriplegic cerebral palsy. My eye condition is retinopathy of prematurity. I have sensory processing disorder. Recently, within the past 2 years, I have been diagnosed with lingual or mandibular dystonia and psychogenic non-epileptic seizures, or PNES. I do all disability-related content on here, mainly because of everything that's happened in the past 2 years. My channel has shifted to where I am right now in my life to being more PNES focused. I want to spread awareness on PNES and help someone that is going through a hard time like I am and feels alone, because you never know who's going to see the video at the right time, and you never know who your content is going to reach. So that's what I strive to do on this channel. So if you would like to join, feel free to hit the subscribe button. I will say I'm going to put a disclaimer up this video. If any of you are watching and do not believe in talking about your feelings and isn't really normalized to talk about it, I would recommend you skip ahead a little bit or come back in a different video, because this video is going to be extremely vulnerable. I'm going to get into some really deep discussions. So, disclaimer done, quick update introduction done. Let's get on with the video. I don't know why I just did this arm thing, but I did. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out where to even start this. So I am currently in therapy for my seizures. They are non-epileptic, which means they're not medical, and some of the things I've learned, I've kind of known, words are hard, I've kind of known this, but the realizations has really hit me, and there's a lot of things that I have discovered and through therapy that I didn't know before. So I'm really scatterbrained, so bear with me, because this is going to be a deep dive into some of the things that have happened. So if you go back to my last video, it was the summer, school hadn't started. Well, I started school in August. I'm gonna put this out there. If anyone from school is watching, there's no words. Just, you guys are amazing. Just all of the things you've done for me, I really appreciate. And there's just no words to describe how thankful I am for your flexibility, understanding, patience. Because, let's face it, I'm not the easiest person in the world to assist daily, especially when I'm in my seizures. But anyway, I started school in August. Was better, was hopeful. New year, fresh start. Well, first day went okay, as far as I can remember. Second day was actually my birthday, so second day of school, I woke up, feel really good about it, went in, and within the first 2 hours of me being there, we had to make the call. My dad had to pick me up because I was having back-to-back seizures. They weren't stopping. I had gone nonverbal. I was unable to speak. So that happened. The next day, and this is kind of a typical week if it's a rough week, so that's why I'm kind of sharing. The next day, stayed all day, but then it was wheelchair time, unfortunately. So, for those of you that don't know, some of my newer subscribers, my seizures, right before I have them and after I have them, I will go nonverbal, so I will lose my speech, and sometimes after them, I will lose the ability to walk. And it's hard because it rarely, if ever, happens at home, and that's the thing, it's psychogenic, so it's psychological. Like, there's nothing, what's the word? There's nothing medically that's causing this. But yeah, I had to be in the wheelchair the third day of school, and I was absolutely devastated. I mean, here I was, third day, thinking, had a little bit of a rough day the day before, but, this is going to be okay, and it was just going from being home all summer, after my speech therapy and everything, and my voice got back to normal from when I was in the hospital, going from having a whole month, like in July, to where my speech was normal, I could walk, I could talk every day, and it was like breath of fresh air. Going from that to all of a sudden back to school, being nonverbal, seizures, unable to walk. It was a punch in the gut, to say the least. And that is when my depression really started to hit. I felt like, what's the point of me being at school if all I'm going to do is sit in a wheelchair and jerk all day? I'm just taking up space. I don't have a purpose. And if any of you guys have depression, you will know exactly what I'm talking about with the intrusive thoughts and the dark thoughts that come up, and just like a fog that hangs in the air that kind of clouds your ability to be positive, and it clouds your ability to be in the right frame of mind. So that was kind of one of those things that happened the first week, and it kind of stayed that way for the next few weeks, and we finally had enough. We had a meeting, we started tracking my seizures, and literally the first day, so we had a spreadsheet, and the person that was with me all day would, every time, have to track how long the seizure was, the symptoms, who was present when I had the seizure, where we were. And the first 3 hours of the school day, 59 of those minutes were spent with me in seizures. So that was quite the reality check. I have been on different medications for anxiety. I've been on Lexapro and Wellbutrin. I will get into that in a little bit in other parts of my video. And it was hard. It really was. And of course, the wheelchair was still involved. I was unable to speak from like 7 a.m. when I got there until about 1:50 in the afternoon. And I left at 2. Like, I went home at 2. And some of the stuff that, this is a lot of stuff that, especially my extended family never really hear me talk about. And like I said, this video was not an easy one to make. It's embarrassing, it's vulnerable. But if I could help one person by making this video, I want to do it. You know, I want to be the one to spread awareness about this condition, because there needs to be more understanding. There needs to be less of a stigma around it. So I want to make that happen. I want to at least start somewhere. But yeah, we had another meeting a couple weeks later. It may have even been less than a couple weeks later. Came to the meeting in the wheelchair, unable to speak. I actually ended up doing the meeting through my communication device. So, communicating in the meeting through my communication device. And those days were probably some of the darkest days that I've had with PNES, and there was so many realizations, so many things that was really a reminder of what this condition can do to you if you let it. But yeah, we had a meeting with the school. It was the nurse, my assistant, my vision teacher, assistant principal, counselor, so a lot of people were in this meeting. And we talked about the next steps going forward. The therapist that I'm working with now for PNES, we got her involved and we're updating her along the way, and the school and her are working closely together. So we got it to the point where I would do my 4 main classes in the morning that I need to graduate. So I only have like 3 or 4 main classes that I actually need in order to graduate. The rest were electives and kind of filler things throughout the day. So I would get the 4 classes done in the morning, go to lunch, and then I would spend the rest of the day in the library as like a study hall, doing catching up on work with my assistant, or if it was a rough day, I would just take it to rest, or, seize the whole time, which we did have days like that. But yeah, we did that for a few weeks. That still wasn't working. And at that point, I was talking to my therapist at one point, and this is rough on the whole family. So, stress levels were high, nervous systems would clash, did I say that right? Anyway, and the way I was feeling, the way everybody was feeling in the family, the therapist was saying, okay, something needs to change now. And with that next day, the email was sent out, and I was not sure, because I thought I was going to have to go and do school online and leave the school that I was at completely, which terrified me. Because one, the unexpected, not knowing, even in the next like 3 or 4 days what was going to happen. But also leaving my friends, leaving the teachers that I know, leaving the supportive environment. But luckily we had another meeting, and this has been from, I want to say it was like late August, early September. Maybe it was mid-September. But it's still going on now, where I'm whole day in the library, and the teachers will send me work through email, and I will do that, and I will still get to be at the school, but it's more of like a self-led type thing, self-paced, and it works out where I have a couple days at the end of the week where I'm caught up and works a little bit slower. That way, if I do have a bad day where I have seizures all day or need to go home, I can do that, and I won't be behind. So that's kind of what's been going on. We've gotten to the point now where okay, before I get into that, I'm going to talk about medication because, okay, backtracking. I told you this is going to be a very sporadic video. So, depression, then medication, then seizure changes. Okay, there, have a plan. Alright, so, the seizures still were really, really bad, even with me in the library. This was like a few weeks ago. Well, a few weeks, maybe a month. Maybe it was a few weeks to a month ago, at the most. But I'm not even really sure how to talk about this next part. I'm not even sure, even when I'm making this video, if I'm going to post this or not, because this is some very real and raw stuff that comes with this PNES condition. I've been on Lexapro for about a year now, 6 months maybe. Not sure what the specific time frame was, but, well, recently, within the past 3 or 4 months, they added, Wellbutrin to my medication list. So I was taking that. The seizures were getting worse, every day. We had a couple weeks where literally every day I was either in the wheelchair, out of it, have no memory of the day, or I would get there and literally less than 30 minutes later have to be picked up again and go home for the day. So, we didn't really know what was going on. My mental health was really, really declining, like, fast. I was sad, I was mopey, my appetite was going, I didn't want to eat anything. I felt sick all the time. I was weepy. And I was talking about it with my therapist, I talked to my parents about it. That's one of the reasons I'm glad that my parents and I are so open in communication with that stuff, because I can't imagine what it would be like if we weren't. But yeah, I talked to them and we started researching, and more side effects of Wellbutrin is seizures, which I have. So it's not that it's epileptic, but I'm wondering if it could somehow increase the seizures. And because PNES is weird. So seizures and depression and suicidal thoughts. So, all that being said, that was around the time, a little bit before we started researching, maybe a day or two before, that again, I'm not even sure if I'm going to post this, but part of this condition is sharing the good and the bad. And that's what I've promised you guys on this channel. That's what I'm going to do to spread awareness. And okay, anyway, I'm off my soapbox now. So I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, that was a few days before. I have Monday brain. It's very real. Words are hard. That's all. Anyway, that was a few days before we started researching. I ended up having suicidal thoughts, and I went as far as planning when I was like specific places I would do it, how I would do it, and at that point I was like, okay, something's wrong. I need to talk to mom and dad and my therapist now. And I was not planning to act on it, but I did have a plan in my head, and that alone terrified me. So, worked up the courage, let my parents and my therapist know, and we started getting off the medicine, so I am no longer on Wellbutrin. I have such a hard time remembering what that's called. Things got a little bit better but stayed about the same, and I was talking to my therapist and mentioned being on Lexapro, and per her recommendation I am now getting off of it because for me it didn't really help anyway, so I am now getting off of my Lexapro, and this is the second day at school that I have had such a great day. The Lexapro is getting out of my system, and I feel like I'm finding my old self again. The speech is still an issue. I'm not sure what really causes that, but like where we are in the library, something this morning at it was 7:30 made a loud noise, which triggered a dystonia spasm. It wasn't really a seizure, I don't think, but sometimes it's hard to tell the difference, but it triggered one of my spasms, which made me lose my speech, and then I did not regain it until it was about time to go. But considering we're still going to take the win as it is, because I had maybe 1 or 2 seizures today, and in comparison to, I don't know, the 20 I would have a day before this. So that's telling that the thing that is supposed to help me actually made it worse. So that's interesting, an interesting thought. And the talking and the speech and dystonia and everything, we're still trying to figure out. But right now, if it's like this every day, and I can walk all day, and I have maybe 1 or 2 seizures, I could get back into class potentially. Which is the end goal anyway. And we were looking at other options like a couple weeks ago because it hadn't been getting better. But with it getting better now, this makes me hopeful for the future and for college. Now, does the not talking still scare me? Definitely. 110% terrifies me. But right now I am choosing positive, and I'm going to choose to focus on the good things. And yes, this is still a challenge that needs to be solved and cured, but right now I'm going to focus on today and worry about tomorrow when it happens. So that is a little bit of an update on where I've been and how I've been doing. And we've also been looking at colleges. I have toured a college, and I would like to major in communication sciences and disorders. So, working on communication disorders, and I would also like to look into actually working maybe an outreach with the devices more. So that's kind of what I'm going towards. Right now I'm looking at small colleges. Before I was looking at a bigger college, but right now that college is off the table completely. Right now I'm focusing on smaller colleges. I have a few more in mind that I want to tour. So that is how everything is going. I have all A's. Seizures are letting up. And it's been really good. That being said, I do need some ideas on additional content that you guys would like to see. So let me know in the comments what content you guys would be interested in seeing. I know I'm going to do a video of things that has helped me get through my seizures and anxiety, and I'm going to do a detailed video on that. I'm trying to think, I know there was other videos that I was wanting to do, but that's the one I can think of right now. But if you guys have any other content ideas that you would like to see, let me know down in the comments, or if you go to the community tab on the main page of my channel, there's a post that I made there quite a while back asking for ideas, so you can comment there. Don't forget to like, share this video with anyone and everyone you see fit, and I know it's not really much of an entertaining video, but I did want to update you guys and bring awareness to this video. I appreciate you guys sticking around with me. I know this video was not an easy one to get through. This stuff is not talked about very much. It's stigmatized. This is very vulnerable subjects, but you guys are awesome and set through even the hardest videos that I have to make. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you in my next video. I hope everyone has a very safe and happy holidays, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.